And that is Serena. Welcome, Serena. Glad you're here. Can you hear me? I guess you waved. All right. Yes. Now I'm recognizing you because I can see your face a little bit better. So, how are you guys feeling? Yeah, get in here, Olivia. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Just throw your shoe aside. Find a spot. I do this all the time. This is kind of how I come into the studio. It's my thing. Let's start on our bellies tonight in a posture called alligator or crocodile. So you're just going to get on your belly, and you can stack your forearms, stack your palms, put your forehead on your palms. Now, traditionally, the feet are kind of out to the side, like you would envision a frog. Your knees are going to stay straight, but your insole or the arch against the floor. If that feels weird on your hips, knees, or anything, just put your feet however you feel comfortable. Really tuck your chin, though. Bring your chin close to your chest and have a sense of pushing your head up towards the ceiling. Imagine me coming over you and you'd push your head into the back of my hand. Have that sense. Keep that slight tension there to create that length in your neck area of your spine. And this is a great posture to experience your breath. So take your air down into your belly, into your ribs, up into your collarbones, and then belly, ribs, and collarbones. Air, like water, follows the path of least resistance. So with your abdominal region compressed against the floor, can you direct the air into the back of your lungs, the back of your ribs? So that compression of the floor against your belly region will cause air to follow a path of lesser resistance into the back side of your chest area. So your lungs, of course, are three-dimensional structures. They wrap around your heart. One of my favorite images when I'm stressed is taking a deep breath and thinking about my lungs, giving my heart a hug. Just inflating around your heart, feeling that support of the air in your lungs. A couple more moments here to settle in, collect yourself. Just breathing into the back side of your lungs. Stretching out that soft tissue. That was good. Right there it is. Nice. On your next inhale, move into a tabletop position. Check out your knees, ensure that they're underneath your hips, and swivel your elbows so the points of your elbows are directed to the area behind you. So notice how you can rotate your elbows, that forearm area. Move your elbow point towards the space behind you and bend your elbows slightly. If you feel crunchy, separate your hands just a bit, bend your elbows, feel that swiveling action in your elbows, and then sink your heart down towards the floor. Now, we're not doing cat and cow right now. We're just concentrating on the scapula. Lift the middle of your back up towards the ceiling, tuck your chin, and then sink your heart down towards the floor. You're massaging the top of your shoulder. So I'll just crawl around here and demonstrate it so that you can see what I mean. So it's not cat and cow. You're projecting and retracting the shoulders, just sliding that scapula, really sliding your ribs up towards the ceiling and your scapula down, and then scapula or shoulder blades, you know what I mean, shoulder blades together on the back side of the body, just massaging that neck area. Just a couple more like that, really stretching as much as you can, lifting up as much as you can, and sinking down as low as you can, just massaging open that area. Come back to a neutral spine, and now move into your cat and dog. In your cat and dog, add that protraction and retraction now that you have that. So you're protracting your shoulders down towards the floor in your cat and lifting your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you slide your shoulder blades back and open across your chest and look up towards the space in front of you. Yes, very nice. Really getting into that shoulder, opening it up. Adding some other micro movements. And then return to a neutral spine. Take your right leg straight out behind you, right leg straight out behind you. Cross over your left foot. Put the ball of your foot down on the floor and take a big C-shaped bend as you look back at your foot. Stay here for a couple breath cycles, remembering to bend at those elbows. Orient your elbows towards the space behind you, relaxing your shoulders. Big breath in and exhale further into that lateral flexion and come back to center and just go right to the other side. And I'm going to show... I think it's Serena here. You're just taking your left foot out this time, cross over your ball of your back foot and go into that big, huge side body bend. Make it feel good. Really stretching out the tissue between your ribs. Breathing into that rib area to open it up. And leg back out, knee back down on the floor and slink it on back into child's pose. You got it. That's it, Maria. You could separate your knees a little bit too, Maria, and really let your hips go down towards your heels. Big breath in. All the air out. Downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, you're going to make a V shape with your body. Hoist your tush right up into the ceiling. And the shoulder blades, move those shoulder blades down towards your tailbone. So have a sense of them sliding down towards your tailbone. Keep that elbow oriented towards the space behind you. So rotate your forearm, moving your elbow towards the space behind you. You're going to have to bend your elbow a little bit to really get into that. Big breath in. Air out and move to the front of your mat. So walk your feet up to the front of your mat, whole way up to the front of your mat, and move into what's called halfway lift. Put your hands on your thighs and create a long spine. Those shoulder blades, you want them to slide down and broaden across the chest, kind of like we were experimenting with at the beginning. Really pull in your guts and get super long. Forward fold. Drape it on down, fingertips down to the floor. Make a box with your arms and put your head in your box. Tuck your chin so much so that your head is framed by that box. And then sway right and left. I really like to take my right elbow way back towards the space behind me, feeling that lateral line flexion like we started with, and then swinging the other way. Maybe even pausing when you're swinging far over to the right and far over to the left, getting into that rib mobility. Come back to center. Check out those feet. Ensure that they're at 12 o'clock and they're lined up with your hips. For most people, that's a little bit pigeon-toed. So bring your toes slightly together. Inhale, let's stand up. And as you come up, lift your arms up over your head, way up over your head. And there's a tendency to want to take those shoulders up to your ears, melt them down, depress your shoulders, hug in your guts, bend your knees, move your hands to heart center. And we'll start with one Om. If you're not familiar with that sound, just take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Breathe in. Release your hands by your side and inhale your arms up. Bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Listen carefully. Downward facing dog. So in this class, we're not doing any chaturangas. If you want to do the chaturangas, you can. Instead, in your downward facing dog, you're going to roll out, put your knees down on the floor, and go the whole way down to the floor for 3 cobra postures. Lift your heart up towards the center of the space and exhale down. Twice more each time, getting a little bit more extension in that spine. Good. And down. Last time, lifting on up. Slide back into your child's pose. Come up onto your knees into a hero's pose. Open up your heart up towards the ceiling and dive down, downward facing dog. That's how we're going to do our sun salutation A's. Again, if you like your more traditional chaturanga, vinyasa, feel free to do that. Big breath in, air out, and move to the front of your mat. Both feet up to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Stand. Take that extension behind your heart. Really open up. And whenever we stand, we always take our arms up over our heads. Bend your knees and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward facing dog. Roll out to a high push-up. Knees down to the floor. All the way down to the floor. Cobra posture. Child's pose, so kind of sexy-like, sensual-like, back into your child's pose, coming up into your hero's pose with your knees down, reach back, and dive it on down to downward facing dog. You'll get it. It's a nice little dance. Big breath in, air out, and move up to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and fold. Stand, arms up. Bend your knees and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, downward facing dog. Roll out to a high push-up, knees down, knees down. That's it. That's it, Maria. Whole way down to the floor, cobra posture. Slink it back, child's pose. Open it up, heroes, heart up towards the ceiling and hands down to the mat, downward facing dog. Let's do it one more time because I feel like you're really getting the rhythm. Big breath in, air out, and move to the front of your mat. Breathe it in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Stand, reach up with your heart. Bend your knees and fold. Halfway lift, downward dog. Roll out to your high push-up and immediately put your knees down on the floor. Lower the whole way to the floor, cobra. Child's pose. Hero's pose. Extension in the spine. Hands down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg in the air. Move your right foot up to your right hand and stay in this low runner's lunge. Your right foot up to your right hand. Low runner's lunge. Straighten your right knee. And then bend both knees. Put your left knee down on the floor, back knee on the floor, both hands on top of that right thigh, and lunge your body forward. Tent your fingertips around that front foot. Once again, lift your back knee up, straighten your right knee. So you're just going back and forth between these two postures, hanging out where you're getting the most information. Now, when your back knee's down, scoot your right foot forward a bit. You really want to feel a stretch in the front side of that thigh, especially if you sit a lot. That's a nice stretch. Tent your fingertips and straighten. So again, you decide how quickly you want to transition between these two postures. Just lifting your knee up, putting it back down. Yeah, you can add on some extension of the spine like John's demonstrating. So we're heading to humble warrior next. So humble warrior, the next time your knee is up, flatten your back foot for warrior 1 feet. And you can look at Angela's feet there, Maria. You're just going to flatten that back foot for warrior 1 feet, hug in your guts, interlace your fingers at your low back and drive your knuckles towards the space behind you. Feel that broadening across your chest. Stay strong here. You're going to be here for another 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. You stay where you're at. I'm moving. Good. Release your bind and come on up to warrior 1. So warrior 1, you're going to keep your feet just like they are and arms up towards the ceiling. Ask that left hip point to swivel towards the space in front of you. So just move heel toe this foot to where my fingers are. Yep. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And now you want this hip to come forward. Oh, there it is. That's magazine worthy right there. 2 more in. And out. Last one. Breathe it in. Hands down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left-sided low runner's lunge. Move your left foot forward. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Put both hands on top of your left thigh and lunge your body forward. So just doing the same thing to this side. When you feel satiated with that posture, then lift both knees up, lift your back knee up and straighten your front knee, going for that hamstring stretch on the back side of your left thigh. I love when people tell me to pay attention to my body in this posture because I'm like, how can I think about anything else? Just let that information just flood your awareness. Just feel what's going on. Getting ready for that humble warrior. So next time your foot's up, warrior 1 feet, staying down, and release your fingers at your low back. Feel that broadening across your chest. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine your neck area in line with your tailbone. So adjust the tension in your neck. In other words, tuck your chin a little bit or come out of that tuck a little bit to create that bullet shape. Yes, Caroline, that is very nice. Very nice, Olivia. Tuck your chin just a little bit. Feel that lengthen. One more inhale. And exhale. Release and come on up into your warrior 1. Your warrior 1. Yeah, so ask that right hip point to come towards the center of the room as you really bend down. Another little trick, tighten your butt muscles in your right hip. Do you feel how that swivels that right hip point forward just a little bit? Your right butt cheek. Give it a little bit of a clench and it can help. And this back foot, do you see how Angela has these toes kicked forward a little bit? Yeah, yep, that's it. One more in. And out, downward facing dog, downward facing dog. Suck the air in, all of it out, and step to the head of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and fold. Chair posture. We're going to move this chair, and then straighten your legs. Lift your palms up towards the ceiling. Really move your hands up towards the ceiling. Wring out your shoulders and back down into your chair. So we're concentrating on the shoulder girdle right now. So as you lift your arms up, really wring it out. Feel like you're almost wringing out that synovial fluid, moving it around in there, back and forth, lingering where you need to be. The next time you're in chair posture, stay in that chair. We're going to do this together for 3. Inhale and exhale. Twice more. Breathe it in. Last one, as noisy as you can. Breathe the air in. All of it out and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, downward facing dog. Roll out to your high push-up, knees down to the floor. Lower your body as a plank the whole way down. Cobra posture. Push it back. Child's pose. Hero's pose. Lift your heart up towards the ceiling and dive your hands down. Downward facing dog. So we'll use that instead of the chaturanga for a sun salutation B as well. You're always welcome to use the regular chaturanga if that's what you need. Breathe the air in, air out, and step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Downward facing dog. Roll out to a high push-up, knees down to the floor, whole body to the floor, cobra posture. Child's pose, hero's pose with your heart up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Right-sided warrior 1, move your right foot forward and lift your arms up. Take that big extension in your back. Hands down to the mat, downward facing dog. Rolling out to that high push-up with your knees going down to the floor immediately. That's it, Angela. Yes, nice form. Land, cobra posture, child's pose. Open up your heart and dive your hands down, downward facing dog. Left-sided warrior 1. Move your left foot forward. Hands up, taking that back behind your heart. Downward facing dog. Rolling out to your high push-up and put your knees right on the floor. You're still going to use those triceps there to go down. Cobra pose. but usually gives you good form. Child's pose, hero's pose, and downward facing dog. Step up to the head of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and stand. Again, every time we come up, your arms just automatically come up over your head. Listen carefully. Left-sided eagle pose. Left arm under. So figure out which one your left arm is. Take that under the other elbow. So left arm under at the elbows. And then wrap your hands together as much as you can. Yes, exactly. Lift your elbows up, fingers up towards the ceiling. Get strong in your right foot, left leg over. And as much as you can, maybe tuck that foot behind your calf, but really bend your standing knee. You're in eagle pose. Stay here for 2. I'm going to move. So if you're looking at me, stop looking at me. Another breath. Sorry, Candy. An airplane. So come out of it and lift that left leg straight back behind you in airplane. Yeah, just like a little kid playing airplane. Reach, reach, reach. Crescent lunge. So reach that foot back and land in your crescent lunge. Yep, do some adjusting. So crescent lunge. And then go into your twist. So twist over to your right. Now that back knee could always go down on the floor if you want to really get into the rotation and feel that spinning of your vertebrae of your whole spine. Sometimes putting your knee on the floor is really helpful. Open up your arms. You got 2 more. In and out. Final breath cycle. Back up into your crescent and warrior 2. So you're facing the long edge of your mat in your warrior 2. Good. Let's start with our hands on our hips. So put your hands on your hips for a moment and look down at your feet. Make sure that your front heel is intersecting or is in line with your back arch. So adjust your feet accordingly. And as you're doing this, bend and straighten that front knee, that right knee. Break up those cobwebs in your tissue between your legs, the outside of your legs, around your knee. And keep adjusting your feet to make sure that knee is right over that ankle. Next time you go down, stay down and orient your torso to the long edge of your mat. So look at the long edge of your mat for a moment so you can get that spine stacked straight on top of your pelvic bowl. Yes, that was it. Now the arms, bring them into the equation and just your head swiveling towards your right fingertips. Soften, go easy, go easy. Good. 3 more. This pose has a lot to offer you. Last one, because you probably aren't in this position very much throughout the day. Flip your front palm and reverse. As you do, straighten your front leg. Go in that big side body bend like we started tonight. Extended side angle. Bend your right knee once again and move your right hand in front of your right knee. You're after a diagonal line from your left fingertips the whole way down to your foot. Yes, that's it, Maria. Very nice. Take your arm up over by your ear just a little bit more to think about that diagonal line. Bend your right knee as much as you can to get that 90-degree angle. That's where the strength is. Also in that crease in your hip joint. Good. Stay with it. One more. Back into your warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior once again. Big, long stretch. Put your hands on your hips. Orient your feet to the long edge of your mat and pigeon toe your feet slightly. High goddess squat. Go way down into your high goddess squat. We're doing this because of football season. So get into the goalpost arms way down in. The Eagles won. Did you stay up and watch the game, Angela? You didn't. Toe your feet together a little bit. Yeah, to get your knees right over your ankles. Stay with it. Stay with it. Okay, we're going to pulse just for 10. Come up a little bit and down. 9, 8. Yes. Look at the control Megan has. Do you see that? That's what you're after. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and into 5-star. So 5-star, you're just stretching out as much as you can, just opening up as if somebody's pulling your fingertips and your toes apart. Just stretch, 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 stretch. Put your hands on your hips, wide leg forward fold. Go ahead into your wide leg forward fold. Line your fingertips up with your toenails. So your toenails and your fingertips are on the same line, and you're putting your hands as if you're going to do chaturanga or tripod headstand. So bend at your elbows and orient your elbows to the space behind you. Yep. So just press your hands right down on the floor like that. Good. Now separate your feet more and bend your knees more and put the crown of your head on the floor. If it doesn't go on the floor, pretend that it does. Yeah, that's a good idea, Carolyn. You could even put a block under your head to make that connection. Now, those of you that have your head square on the floor, you've got your chaturanga arms, go into your tripod headstand or lift your legs right up over your head and go into a headstand. If you're new to yoga, this is a great time to look around the room and watch the gymnastics happening. See all the possibilities of where tomorrow's pose could take you. Just a couple more breaths here. And if you are working on it, pretend you're lifting up. Feel that engagement in your core. Squeeze your legs together. Pretend you're lifting your legs up over your head, and you'll get that engagement. Yes, come on down. If you are up in the air, separate your feet once again. Tent your fingertips out in front of you about 2 feet. Put your hands on your hip and hinge on up to stand. Triangle pose. Move your right foot to 12 o'clock. So your right foot to 12 o'clock. A lot of people need to separate their feet a bit more for a triangle. So get pretty far apart with your triangle. Arms out. Keep your front knee straight this time. So right knee is extended. Yep. And then you can see how Angela is demonstrating this. This is a beautiful demonstration, by the way, Angela. So you got this deep hip crease right here. And see how her line going from her fingers is almost perfectly straight. Oh, yes. Look down at your right foot. I'm going to slowly move into half moon. So just lift that back foot up just an inch or two and back down. Another inch or two and back down. Incrementally, keep lifting that foot up. You want to feel that buoyancy, that elastic rebound in your body as you go back and forth. Take about 3 to 4 times until you get into your half moon and stick it. Land in your half moon. So, Maria, you might notice that everyone else is cheating. They have a block. You don't. There you go. It's not fair. Open up. Hold on to it for another breath. And then swing that leg down in the front. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Forward fold in the front of your mat. Just like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Roll out to that high push-up. Immediately put your knees down on the floor and really engage here. You're going into that plank and all the way down the floor. You'll feel those triceps engage here. Take your right arm straight out to T. You're going to roll over that right shoulder and stretch out your chest area. Not going to be here too long. Just really giving this shoulder girdle some love tonight. And then come back to your belly. Left arm out to T. Just roll on over. Open up that shoulder. Get control of your breath. Come back to your belly. Cobra posture. Child's pose. Hero pose. Opening up your heart. Hands down, downward facing dog. Step up to the head of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and stand. Remember, whenever we stand in this style of yoga, the arms just automatically go up. It's kind of like being at a revival meeting. And now we're going to move into right-sided eagle or pose. So think about your right arm. Your right arm is going to go under this time. So right arm under, and then wrap up your hands. And then your right leg goes over. So right leg goes over and tucks behind. Good. And then really bend that standing knee a lot. You got 2 more breaths here to sculpt this posture. Lengthening the spine, lifting up, feeling light. Feel lighter and lighter and lighter into airplane posture. So reach that leg back. And you're looking for the ground for crescent lunge. So keep reaching, 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 and land your foot and crescent lunge. Arms straight up towards the ceiling. Good. And I'm seeing a lot of you experiment with that buoyancy here. You could bend and straighten your left knee a little bit, just real subtle, so subtle that I might not even be able to see it, just to feel that buoyancy and land in your sweet spot of your crescent lunge, finding your balance. Hands to heart center. Now remember, you could always put that back knee on the floor right now and twist. So twist towards your left, putting your elbow over your knee. If you want that back knee on the floor, it gives you something a little different. It gives you more of a twist or rotation. Yep, you can add opening the arms, that right hip, just lift it up a little bit. You can have a tug of war with your body between that right hip and the twist. Just feel that tension. Big breath in. Air out, back into your crescent. So towards the center of the room. Take your time, John. That was great. And then warrior two. Open it on up into your warrior two. Put your hands on your hips to start. And those of you that know what you're doing, really demonstrate the sustainable alignment for new people in the room. So think about yourself as being a model citizen. Look down at your feet. Line yourself up. Orient your torso to the long edge of the mat. Yes, good, Maria. So you get that spine right over top of that pelvic bowl. Everything's in line. It's only your head that's going to swivel, only your head that rotates, your neck area that rotates towards the front of your mat. You got 3 more breaths, so breathe in and out. 2 more. And out. Soften in this last breath cycle. Flip your front palm. And reverse your warrior. Go into that big lateral flexion. Big, huge side bend. And back down into your warrior two, extended side angle. So you're going right back in that warrior two. Good. Move your left foot forward to here. And then really bend this knee. Do you have any knee problems? Okay, then bend this knee. You're going to wish you told me you did. Can you move that foot forward another inch? Stay with it, everybody. Stay with it. Another breath in your extended side angle and then decrease here and down. Beautiful. Back up into warrior two. Warrior two. Reverse, straighten your front leg. Go into that big lateral line bend. Huge lateral line bend. And then 5-star. Open it up. 5-star. Get drawn and quartered apart. Come apart here. Fall is all about coming apart. Chinese medicine. All right, down into your high goddess squat again. Many of you are going to have to heel toe your feet together, but yes, perfect alignment. That looks great. Knees right over ankle. Down we go. This time, though, we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. So go way down in. Come up on the balls of the feet. In other words, lift your heels and tap your heels down. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 5-star once again. So open it on up. 5-star. Interlace your fingers at your low back and go into a wide leg forward fold with a bind. So interlace those fingers and then just let your arms drift down towards the floor in front of you. Make it feel really good in your shoulder girdle. Yeah, it looks like most of your knees are bent. Nice. If you feel like your knees are a little too extended, add a little bit of a loving bend to them so you stay in the muscles and go for the strength. Wow, Candy. Your hands are almost to the floor. Look at that flexibility. All right, release. Tense your fingertips out in front of you about a foot or 2 and all the way up to stand. Triangle posture. Move your left foot to 12 o'clock this time. Remember, triangle, you're keeping your left knee straight. So everything stays nice and straight. Sometimes it's helpful to put a block right there, and you can put fingertips on that block. Yes. Yeah, let me move this back a little bit for you. Very nice. You could move your left foot forward another inch or 2 to really get that deep crease right there. That looks nice. Look down at your left foot, and now you fly. So if you like that incremental lift and back and feeling that buoyancy, do that. Or if you're more in the mood just to go into that half moon and stick it, feel free. Keep breathing. Add the breath. You decide to stick it, go to the next step that's for you. Maybe taking your hands off the block, maybe looking up to the ceiling. So this is a great place. If you fall out of it, you know how to go right back into it, because that's what we're up to right now, is going in and out of it if you need to. One more slow inhale and exhale. Forward fold at the front of your mat. So swing that back leg up to the front of your mat into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Chair posture. Sit it down to your chair and move into your twist to the right. So hands towards the heart center and twist to your right. Good. Squeeze your legs together a bit, your knees together. Not necessarily touching, but that tension of squeezing in together. Breathe with me. 3 in, out. Sit your butt down a little lower. 2 more. Take your butt towards the space behind you, another micrometer, I mean, up into your chair posture. And fold. Wrap your fingers, your first 2 fingers, your index and your middle finger around your big toe, and move into a halfway lift. Stay in your halfway lift just for a moment. Move those elbows out towards the side and pull on your toes. This is one of the few postures that work your biceps, believe it or not. Shoulder stand is another. So really yank on those toes. Feel that tension there in your biceps. And then forward fold. Relax your head down towards the floor. Release your bind, heel toe your feet to the edges of your mat. Low goddess squat. Grab a block if you want it, but we're going down to this low goddess squat. Get some tension between your elbow and separate your feet so that your soles are flat on the floor. Shift your weight left and right. Shift your weight. You can come way up onto the ball of your foot. Rock around a little bit. The other way. Rock around a little bit. Crow posture or stay. Plant your hands. Squeeze your legs together. You're in the posture right now when you're squeezing your legs together. And play with some weight acceptance. Maybe lift one foot, the other foot, both feet. Look around for the possibilities. One more inhale. Come back down into your your low goddess, excuse me. And then we're going to go right into forward fold. So relax your head into your forward fold. So straighten your knees into your forward fold. Back into chair posture. So sit your hips back into your chair. Way down towards the floor and twist to the left. So twist over to your left. 2 more in. Out. Final breath cycle. Breathe in slowly. Push the air out. Back up into your chair without momentum, with core strength, and forward fold. This time stepping on your hands. Attempt to put most of your hand underneath your foot. Wiggle your toes, maybe even shift weight up to the palm of your hand, lifting your heels up slightly to really massage your wrist and your hands. Relax your head, tuck your chin even. Stretch out the soft tissue in the backside of your neck and across the top of your shoulders. Relax your jaw, even your eyelashes. Relax your eyes so much that your eyelashes have space between each piece of hair. And slowly come on up to stand. Roll it on up. Remember, whenever we come up, arms come up. Praise God. Lift that heart up towards the ceiling. Right leg standing leg raise. So lift that right leg up. Grab it with your right hand. Maybe peek down at your standing foot. Ensure that's at 12 o'clock. And then open up your hip. Take your leg over to the side. You want to reach for your foot. Feel free to do that. Just going to dance our way through these postures. Bring it back to center, dancing Shiva. Switch your grip. So left hand on your knee, opposite arm, go for the twist. Yep, you got it. That's it. Make it feel good. Come on back to center. Put your hands on your standing thigh, your left thigh. Put both hands on your left thigh and walk your fingers down towards your ankle for standing split. Keep lifting that right leg up towards the ceiling. We're only going to be here for a moment. So really stretch out those hamstrings with that little lift of your leg and swing it down, forward fold. Come on up. As you come up, grab your left knee for your standing leg raise. You're just dancing along. Externally rotate. Take your left knee out to the side. Keep breathing. Come back to center. Switch your grip. Dancing Shiva. One of my career dreams, come back to center. We're going for that standing split. Put both of your hands on your thigh. Walk your hands down. Would be a choreographer. So I pretend I'm a choreographer right now. You guys look like you're in this awesome dance group. Lift your foot up, lift your foot up, and then swing it down. Forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing bow. Bend your right knee and grab your right foot from the inside. I love just grabbing my foot. Traditionally, you grab your ankle, but by grabbing my foot, I like to stretch out that soft tissue on the top of my foot. Hang out here and stretch your quads for a moment. Feel that lovely runner stretch. Now, engage your quads. Start to kick like you're kicking a soccer ball against your hand. Add your other arm just for some counterbalance. You want to open up that right shoulder. Give that right shoulder all kinds of love and release other side. Remember, take the time to feel that lovely quad stretch. So capture it, arm up, and then you're kicking against your hand to feel that stretch across your shoulders. So tonight, this posture is less about working, more about getting that shoulder love. We're not going to be here very long, just to open up that shoulder and then release, let it go. Right-sided tree posture. Put your right foot on the inside of your ankle, or your thigh, or your shin. Other side. Release. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Forward fold. Half lift. Downward facing dog. Roll out to a high plank. Put your knees down to the floor and take your low plank all the way down to the floor. Locust posture. Interlace your fingers at your low back and lift your arms off of your low back. Keep your chin tucked. Just like we were in that humble warrior, you want that length from the crown of your head the whole way to your feet. I also recommend tucking your toes like you're doing a push up, keeping your toes on the floor, engage your quads, and lift your knees off of the floor. Feel that engagement. Big breath in, air out, and rotate your head so that your right ear is on the floor. So go ahead and relax your whole body down the mat. Even encourage your shoulders to round forward. Usually we're cueing for you to open across your chest. Here you get a chance just to let those shoulders round forward. Take a break with your right ear on the floor. Locust pose. So open this one up. Keep your hands open like airplane arms by your side, palms down, and lift your feet up. Now, if you feel any crunching in that lower back, you can always put the balls of your feet back on the floor and lift your knees off of the floor. Good. Stay with it. You just have another slow breath cycle, tucking that chin there. You always want to see. You're like, what's going to happen? Trust me, nothing's happening. And come on down. Rotate your head so that your left ear is down on the floor. Do you meditate with your eyes closed or do you like them open? Uh-huh. Yeah. A lot of people do like their eyes open to meditate. Oh, the Allison snuck in here. Hey, outer space friends. Welcome. Right-sided floor bow. Move your right forearm across the front edge of your mat. Bend your left knee. Reach on the inside of your left ankle and squeeze your legs together. Even has a sense of bringing your shins together, even though they won't meet. Now kick into your hand and press into that right forearm. Again, we're just giving the shoulder some love. Just think about it like that. Not so much work as much as, oh, that shoulder feels so good. Let's go to the other side. Left forearm across the front edge of your mat. Reach back. Grab your ankle. Let's get the other shoulder. big old stretch as you kick, 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 and press, press, press. Make it feel easy. And then come on back. We're going to go into that cobra pose, back into the child's pose. Come on up into the hero's pose. Swing your legs out in front of you. I love this time of year. It's so perfect for the mummy arms. Make your mummy arms. Slowly lower your body down to the floor. You guys don't know if you're in church or at a haunted house. Go the whole way down to the floor, keeping your knees bent. We're heading towards bridge posture. I'm very inclusive. I'm all walks of life. All right, press your feet into the floor and lift those hips up towards the ceiling. Yes, that's it. And then your hips right on up towards the ceiling. You know what? Come on back down again. This time we're going to roll the pelvis up. So put your hips back down on the floor, your pelvic bowl back down on the floor. And then you're going to just lift your tailbone up and then lift that bony plate at the base of your spine, your sacrum up, and then lift each of those lumbar vertebrae. You got 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a string of pearls. And then the ribs, the bones around your ribs, lift those up one by one, and then incrementally lay them back down. So one bone at a time. You could keep doing this. It's a great massage for your spine. Even move that tailbone underneath. You take your tailbone up towards the back of your head, scoop that tailbone in the opposite direction, and then incrementally lift it on up, back up into your bridge pose. So if you're enjoying exploring this, by all means, continue to lift your spine up for like that. Others of you might be in the mood for a wheel posture. So we'll be here for 3 more, 3 breaths, 5 breaths, and 7. So this first one here, you're in your first 3 breaths. So your wheel or your bridge, or you're playing with that lift, that pelvic tilt, and laying it back down. Good. So our 3 breaths are about done. Those of you in your bridge or your wheel, tuck your chin and come on down. And then we'll go up for our 5 breaths. So up you go for 5. Continue articulating your spine. Good. About 3 more. Keep squeezing your legs together. That's it, Candy. Even your feet could be a little more pigeon toes. Yes. We got that final breath cycle for the second set. And down you go. Last one. On up. Bridge, wheel, or spinal articulation. Good. So this is 7. 6. Breathing in slowly and out. Good. 5. Take your time. 4. Last 3. Final 2 breath cycles. And then tuck your chin, come on down, Supta Baddha Konasana. Put the soles of your feet together and let your knees drift down towards the floor. Dig your elbows into the floor a little bit and arch your back. Dig the back of your skull in and bring those shoulder blades together and slide them down your back. Put your shoulder blades as flat as possible against the floor. That'll help facilitate that broadening across your chest. Move your knees together and heel toe your feet apart, keeping your knees bent. So heel toe your feet apart and let your knees now cave to the center. Stretch out those hips in the opposite way. Exactly. And the further you separate your feet, the more of an impact or a stretch you're going to get. In fact, you could do it to the point where knees aren't even touching anymore. Yep. And that's a great idea, Madison. You can let one knee kind of drift towards the center and then the other knee drift towards the center. I'm not going to be here too much longer, so you don't have to do that add-on thing with the ankle stuff. Stretching it out. Happy baby. Hug your knees into your chest. Grab the soles of your feet. Just rock left and right in your happy baby. Yeah, you just want to think most indecent posture ever. Happy baby. And then you got it. All right, just a little bit of core work to finish us out. We're going to do some bicycles. So crunch it on up, and you know what I mean. You're just going to, do your bicycle, fast or slow. It's up to you. We're going to do it for 20. Concentrating on that shoulder girdle, really going into that huge rotation of the spine, and even having that protraction with the shoulder, that rotation of the shoulder. So really think about your shoulders. Good. Good. Nice. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Nice pace. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug your knees into your chest. And we'll build one boat posture. Sit yourself up like I'm demonstrating. Put your hands behind your thighs. Pull on your thighs to lengthen your spine. Stay here. If you feel that engagement, you're in boat posture right now, or you could add your arms. And then you could also alternate lifting one heel and the other heel, trying to keep that pelvic bowl stable. I mean, you yourself, or you might have seen people kind of shift. My mom, like, she shifts when she walks, that waddle thing going on. So this is a good way to practice keeping the pelvis stable. Now, if you want to add on, you could lift one foot and then the other foot, but see how that might compromise your spine? You want to really ask for that spine to be open. Just for 2 more breaths here. This is full on boat. Last one. And then hug your knees with your arms and put your forehead on your knees. Stretch out the back of your neck. Really tuck your chin, even rock your head left and right as if you're saying no. Massage that soft tissue across your neck and the tops of your shoulders. And then rest it on back, reclining half pigeon. Put your right ankle over your left knee. So bend both knees and put your right ankle over your left knee and reach through and grab your shin. You sure do remember a lot from college. I can tell. You must not have been partying like I was. I'm actually all talk. It's so neat to watch you guys intuitively move, because some of you are kind of rocking a little bit left and right. I can see some of you pressing your right elbow into your right knee to get a little bit more torque in that hip. So since you can't see each other, I'll just let you know what you're all up to so you can know the different possibilities in this posture. And then switch to the other side. So interesting how everything feels when you make that transition, isn't it? Like, I often liken it to trying to put on a wet bathing suit. It's like, oh, and then finally you get into it. You move into the space of acclimation, but that's the challenge then, is to really continue to pay attention to what you're feeling. Even here, while you get a little bit used to the posture. Hug your knees into your chest. And lift your legs over your head. The most restorative would be to put a block underneath your lower back. So you could bend your knees and put your flat feet on the floor and lift your tush off the floor just slightly and put a block under that bony plate at the base of your spine, and then hoist your legs up towards the ceiling. And experiment, because the block might not always be at the best spot the first time you try it. So you can shift it around until you get it at that spot. Now, if you're really flexible, you might not need the block, but people that are flexible, like, are in not as flexible like me, The block makes it more restorative because it turns into an ab workout if I don't have a block. But if you're pretty flexible, you might not need the block. I see some people taking shoulder stands here. Candy's doing shoulder stand. That's another option. If you're interested in that, you'll take your legs way down towards the floor. Yep, that's it, Madison. Ooh, so you like that better than putting the palms on the back of your back? That looks like it's much more active. Yeah, you can really lift your legs up. So this is one of the shoulder stand is one of the few postures that also ask your biceps to work. Do you feel that engagement there? Because you're using your biceps to hold your whole weight of your body. If you are in shoulder stand, go into your plow. You could do what Olivia's up to and move into what's called deaf man's pose, where you put your knees against your ears and then slowly roll it on out. You're moving into supine twist next. So put your flat feet on the floor. Lift your tush and move that block out of the way if you have a block underneath you. And then rock your legs over to the right and twist your head and your torso over to the left. You want to imagine your spine as being a spiral staircase. Each of those bones just sort of swiveling past each other to get that stretch of your soft tissue all around your spine. Here you go, Carolyn. I'm coming around with a cool eye towel. Those of you at home, if you happen to have, a little ice pack in your freezer, you could go grab it. It might feel good too. And Shavasana with something cool over your eyes. And if you're at home, if you're lucky, you could yell for someone in your house, hey, turn off the lights. Go get me a pillow. It's time for my Shavasana. Grab one of your cats or dogs. Add some pet therapy. Go into your supine twist on the other side. I found you an extra special one. Shavasana. Return to a quiet breathing pattern. As quiet as you can. I'm going to let this room become very, very quiet. Move as small a degree as possible by rocking your head to the right. So small, maybe you actually don't physically move your head. Just rotating at the neck just slightly to the right. And then just as small to the left. Incrementally increase that degree of movement. Keep making that rotation bigger and bigger until you get your right ear as close to the floor as possible. And take a slow inhale and exhale, just stretching out that soft tissue around your neck and the tops of your shoulder. And then do it on the other side. Move your head back to neutral and interlace your fingers behind your head as if you were going to do a crunch or a push up. Use the strength of your arms and lift your head off of the floor. Move your chin into your chest and then rock your head right and left using your arms, stretching out your neck and the tops of your shoulders. Stay somewhere where you get a lot of information and just do a little micro movement there. Tease open that soft tissue, stretch that soft tissue. And then stop with your head at neutral with your chin oriented towards your chest. Release that bind and rock over onto your right as you hug your knees into your chest. Put your forehead on the earth. Move to a seated position, oriented towards the center of the space. Those of you at home, I welcome you to orient yourself towards your camera, having this virtual circle together. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling, hands to heart center. 3 rolling ohms. As soon as you end your ohm, start your next ohm. Breath in. Om. Namaste. Don't clap tonight. I'm going to keep this yin locked in. When you're ready, you can quietly leave. Thanks for coming, Serena.